You know, something that made One Piece Gold different was how it had a connected story. It was kind of like a miniature arc. We had a filler arc, Silver Mine, which didn't really add to the story of it, but he showed up at the end. Then Heart of Gold, a Indiana Jones-like adventure, where at the end they get the Reaver card. And then Episode 0, beach episode. It's mainly used to have some die-down time. But at the end, it shows them heading towards the casino. But it also has something else I love. It gives me a thumbnail. All I need is big tits, slap it on, and boom. Watch that view count increase. Don't worry, YouTube. You'll demonetize me once I say fuck. But how is the big thing they lead to film Gold? Is it as good as Strong World or as bad as just a filler arc? Well, I've been watching everything One Piece too. Specials, movies, filler arcs, a ramen commercial, and this is One Piece Film Gold. So we start off with a guy on the stairs. Yeah, this is just one of the coolest intros to a movie. The whole atmosphere, the jazz, the dancing, it's all extraordinary. Even though everything's entirely just gold, it makes sense in the story, but everything does seem like a little bit too bright. And so comes the lovable idiots once more, and they get raided. And may I say, the animation just looks great, along with the 3D camera all around, and the animation just being a precursor to Wano. It's all nice to look at compared to what I've been used to. And so they meet this girl, Lady Luck. They get in a Master Roshi style powered car and see the whole environment, but they're not exactly dressed for the occasion, and so they get pimped up.
Hey, ready to roll. We all dressed up and we're ready to go. I'm a pimp named Slickback.
So they get gifted 20 million chips because they were broke. Luffy's immediately like, let's go and do Speed Racer. I hope you love ass shots and tits jiggling. Is this really what the show's become? And the whole race is really where they let the 3D camera just shine and just have a chaotic time with the Usopp and Chopper. And thanks to Luffy, they're able to win the race. And that's pretty much throughout this whole casino. Just all you need to do is just bring Luffy. He's always somehow lucky, even in the canon. Don't ask me why.
Come on, bitch, now.
Would you stop doing that?
Yeah, bam! Snake eyes!
Oh, yeah!
But then things get interesting as the main man himself appears. Gran Turismo. I don't know, Gran Turismo. So Mr. Gran Turismo makes it interesting and gets alongside Luffy, but it's rigged. Thanks to Lady Luck and her, well, luck fruit. They scam the Straw Hats and they gotta pay up. But surprisingly enough, someone does get captured. And it's not Nami this time, it's Zoro. So trying to find ways they can scrunch up the money, they encounter Nami's old burglar friend. I don't know why it says this in my notes, but it just says, ass shot of Gran Turismo was spandem here. Why? And this is where we get our first worthless cameo, Sabo. Why is he here? No clue. Lucci's here too for some reason. I'm just gonna gloss over them real quick. They fight each other. It's at the end. Nothing really happens. They're just there. Although, the dub can be funny with Sabo.
Fire fist!
Just the way he says it. Sounds like he's either constipated or he sounds like the Tasmanian devil. Anyway, we're back to the story. So they team up with Nami's burglar friend to make a heist to get into this vault with about 500 billion berries. And this is actually a pretty fun time. We get the duo of Luffy and Frankie again.
Wow, let me see up close. It's so big. It's like a work of art. Thanks for the peek. You boys keep up the good work.
Oh, really? Sounds crazy.
Wow, maybe.
What? Herbert's here from Thriller Bark? I didn't expect that. But the plan fails because Luffy. He tries to fight Gran Turismo. He fails. They get thrown into a golden prison while they meet a revolutionary army guy, Ray's Max, who's just an undefeated gambler. What a power. Granted, it's the premise of the movie, just gambling. So I won't be surprised if the next one's just One Piece film bar and the story of alcoholism. To get the gold off of Luffy, they're trying to find seawater, so they just go into this van. Some of them try to die. Then when they do, they all almost drown. So how's the other group doing? Well, I mean, they try and hide where celestial dragons appear and the incest is really getting to them. But this whole time, the vault wasn't real. And it just led them straight to the execution of Zoro. And of course, this whole entire plot twist was that Nami's friend was fooling them the whole time. Nah, I'm just kidding. It was part of the whole scheme.
The only treasure we needed was this sea water.
Our little trip underground was all part of the plan.
Because Gran Turismo is like a modern content creator, he gets upset. His whole backstory is a blink and you'll miss it. Where he loved being an entertainer and sing, but his mom just was abusive to him. He fell in love with a girl who was in a human shop. He was sold. He became a slave. He escaped. He ate the fruit. And he just came here and made a deal with Joker, of course, because he's always here somehow. Turismo talks about hope and despair like he's from a Danganronpa game. And he becomes a JoJo-looking final boss, where Luffy does not give a crap and drops a hard dub line.
The last god I fought couldn't beat me, and neither will you!
So Luffy's taking down the gold guys, Zoro's taking down a masochist, Sanji and Robin surprisingly team up and take down a bobblehead Funko Pop, and who's taking down Lady Luck? Usopp of all people. Luffy gets beaten up a bunch like a typical shonen jump, and then he activates fourth gear, and then that's when he just finally defeats Gran Turismo. The music sounded pretty good too. Throughout this whole movie it was good. I wish they incorporate more music in the actual show. They've been using the same kind of sound effects for the past ever since it was basically created. Luffy says he's gonna be king of the damn pirates and then just takes him down. The whole place is gonna blow up, and that's when the big plot twist comes in. Nami's friend is gonna sacrifice her life. Nah, I'm just kidding again. He just stole the ship, which has tons of gold on it, and just rides off into the sunset. And that was all of One Piece Film Gold. It had its problems for sure, like the backstory barely being mentioned, way too much fan service, and the Sabo and Lucci just being there for some reason. But in general, it's like a top 5 One Piece movie for me. And it makes me excited for what Stampede and Red has to offer. But we won't be getting there for a while because next time we'll finally get to Zoe and then hopefully Whole Cake Island.